Hey guys, for this week's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to create your very own miniature Wall-E. So before I teach you guys how to do this, you're going to want to print out this template, which should be under the Comic-Con Museum at Home website. For those of you guys who have printed out this template, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut on all of the solid black lines. Make sure not to cut on any of the dotted lines because we're going to fold that later. So for now, just cut on the solid black lines. So now that you guys have cut out all of your template pieces, we're going to start taping it to our cardboard. So for example, I'm going to grab the lower arm here, and then I'm going to cut out a piece of tape, and I'm going to tape it to my cardboard. When you're taping down the template pieces, make sure to put a decent amount of room in between because you don't want them so close together where you're going to cut into the template. So now that you guys have taped all of the template pieces to the cardboard, it should end up looking like this. So now we're going to cut out all the pieces. And again, when you're cutting, don't cut on any of the dotted blue lines. When you guys are done cutting each of the pieces, like for example, once I finish cutting the lower arm off, don't take the template piece off. Keep it on. So now that you guys have cut out all of your pieces, we're going to start to fold all of the dotted blue lines. This is where you're going to need your ruler. So I'll show you guys how to do one of the dotted blue lines, and then you guys can go ahead and do the rest of them. So, for example, this dotted blue line here, we're going to grab our ruler. We're going to line it up to the dotted blue line. And then we're going to just fold it back. That way you get a nice clean fold like that. And you're just going to do that for all of the rest of the pieces with dotted blue lines. So now that you guys have folded all of your template pieces, we're going to start putting the body piece together. So you can take off the template because we're not going to need this anymore. So the way that we folded it should be pretty clear on how it should be constructed, but I'll teach you guys how to do it still. So as you can see, these two flaps right here, you're going to just push these together so it kind of sits up straight. And then this tail piece right here, looks like a tail, it should just end up wrapping around. When doing this, you only want to glue one side at a time because if you try to do all of the sides, it might dry out before you get to one of the sides. So we're going to start by gluing either one of these flaps, should be fine. That. And then you can just push this kind of tail piece so that it comes together like that. And then you're going to do the same thing for this other flap right here. So now that you guys have glued those two flaps together, it should look like this. All that we have left is this kind of tail looking piece. And it should be pretty clear. You're just going to kind of fold it over like that. And now that you're done with that, it should look like this. So the next piece is the neck piece. As you can see on Wall-E, the neck piece is pretty triangular, and so that's how we're going to create it. So you can take off this template again because we're not going to need this anymore. So as you can see again, I talked about how it looks triangular, and so we're going to put some glue on the edge of the neck piece, and we're going to put it together so it gives us that triangular look. So now that you've glued that, we're going to attach it to Wall-E's body. As you can see, it's a little bit closer to the back of Wall-E's body, but it's fairly in the center. So just put it as close to the center as possible. And in the end, it should look like that. So now that we're done creating the neck piece, we're going to start on the head. So we're going to take this head piece right here, and then again, you can take off this template. It's not going to be needed anymore. So as you look on the head piece, it's very curved. It's almost like a cylinder shape. So that's what we're going to do to this piece. So the way to curve cardboard really well is to go to the edge of the table, line up your cardboard, and you're just going to want to kind of fold it or pull it down. By doing so, you get this nice curved piece like that. So as you can see, the two eyes are created by folding the shape together so it looks like that. And you just want the two sides to meet up in the middle. So you're just gonna wanna glue one of the sides, and then you're just gonna wanna meet it to the middle. And you're gonna do that with both of the eyes. So now that you guys are done with that, it should look like this. And now we're just gonna attach the headpiece onto the neck piece. So we're just gonna put a little glue on the neck piece, like that. And then we're just gonna attach the head to the neck piece. So in the end, it should kind of look like that. So now that we're done with the neck and the head, we're gonna start on the arms. So you guys are gonna grab both of the upper arms, and you can take these template pieces off it. So the way we folded the arms, if you fold it together, it should kind of look like this box shape, which is what Wally should have. His arm should look like kind of like a box shape. So you're just gonna glue one of these sides down so it should give it that box shape, and make sure to leave this still hanging out, this kind of flap here. Now that you've done that, it should look like this. And now you're just gonna glue this flat piece down so it closes it up. So now that you're done, it should look like this. And you're gonna do the same thing with the other arm. So now that you guys are done creating the two upper arms, we're gonna attach them to his body. So we first need to figure out which is the front and which is the back of Wally. And so as you can see, one of his sides is slightly curved. That side is the back of him. And the side that's very flat is the front. So this is the front and this is the back. So we're just gonna glue. And we're gonna glue where the hole, which is this thing right here, is facing towards the front. So since this is the front, this is the hole, I'm gonna attach this so the hole is facing towards the front. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other. And in the end, it should kind of look like that. So now that you guys have attached both of the upper arms to your body piece, we're gonna start with the lower arm. And we're gonna take these template pieces off. So as you can see, the lower arm is very curved. It's almost like a cylinder shape. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna use the same method I taught you earlier, how to curve cardboard. So now that you've curved both pieces, it should look like this. Now, as you can see, this piece should get stuck inside of the upper arm where the little hole is. So we're just gonna kind of curve it up. You don't need to glue it together. You're just gonna need to kind of pinch it together like this. And then you just can kind of stuff it into his arm. So now that you're done, it should look like that. So now that we're done with the upper and lower arm, we're gonna start attaching the hands. So you can again remove the template pieces off. So as you can see for his hands, they're just kind of like a curved shape. So what you can do is you can just kind of bend it over so it kind of has that curved shape like that. And you can glue in the center of his hand just to hold that position like that. So once you've done that, we can attach it to his lower arm. So I can put a bit of glue on his hand, and then I can attach it like that. And you're gonna do the same thing for the other hand. So now that we're done attaching the hands on, we're gonna start with the wheel. So you're gonna grab the wheel sides, and you can take all of the template pieces off of this. And then you're also gonna grab the wheel tread, and you can take the template pieces off of that as well. So as you can see, this wheel tread sort of wraps around this piece right here. And so you're just gonna end up grabbing two of the pieces, and you're just gonna wrap the wheel tread around it. So to know which way is the front or the back, as you can see, there's this like very high point on it. This should be closer to the back. So if you look at his wheel right here, this high point is closer to the back of Wally than to the front of Wally. So because it's very curved, we're going to use the same method I taught you to curve this. Should look like that. And when you're gluing this wheel tread onto the wheel side, make sure to only glue a little bit of it at a time, because if you glue the whole thing at one time, it's going to dry out before you can get to it. And you're going to want to start on the bottom, because as you can see, where you glue on the bottom, you don't want that being shown, and so because it's on the bottom, it gets hidden. So I'm going to start by gluing part of the wheel tread onto the wheel side. And when you're doing this, make sure to do both sides of the wheel at the same time. Don't just wrap this one first and then go to the next one, because it's going to be very difficult at the end. So you're just going to want to do both at the same time. So now that you've done that, you're just going to continue until the whole thing is wrapped up. So now that you're done creating both of your wheel pieces, you're now just going to attach them to the body piece. Now that you're done, it should end up looking like that. Great job, guys. You finished creating your very own tabletop Wally. Make sure to stay tuned for more videos, because we're going to be posting a new template every week.